scorer, scores in all 3 layers of the basketball court. She'll be fun to watch tonight.
And we're off as Tennessee trying to get back on the winning track. They've lost 2 here at home. They've never lost 3 in a row at home. And everybody knows that's been following women's basketball. They haven't lost 4 in a row since 1970. A lot of pressure on Tennessee to win tonight. High arcing shot misses, and there's the Lady Vols around the rim for the rebounding. This is what Mike Neighbors was concerned about, was keeping the Lady Vols off the boards. Taking a look at the Arkansas lineup with Tollfree, Monk, and Dungy, who you talked about, scoring over 54% of the points for this high-scoring team. They're number 2 in the SEC in conference play in scoring, as Tollfree misses the first shot. I think it's swiped away from Zay Green. She picks it up. Out to Mimi Jackson, who has been had a hard time scoring lately, but the offensive rebound and putback good to put the Lady Vols on the board.
Well, we talked with Coach Neighbors, and one thing he said is the second shot is never a bad one. They've got to box out Tennessee.
Dungy gets the offensive rebound. Mason with the miss. And the Razorbacks track it down. Arkansas 13-5 on the year. They're 2-2 in conference play. Malika Monk off the mark. As we take a look at the lineup for the Lady Vols, they haven't started this 5 since the first game of the year. Kushkitawa is in place of Renaya Davis.
Well, Renaya Davis had a tough night against Alabama in their last game out. Cassiano, what she can bring, a little bit of post presence, a little energy, especially matching Zay Green.
Zay Green, a freshman with a 3-pointer from the top of the key to put Tennessee up 5-0, but then a foul on Zay Green.
Well, Zay Green, she's such a dynamic player. She's very athletic. Usually what she brings is that driving piece, but she can knock down the 3-pointer as well.
Just a 23% 3-point shooter, but gets that one. Malika Monk showing her change of speed ability and goes right to the rim. Again from the top of the key, Green feeling it, misses that, and Dungy comes away. Arkansas wants to push tempo. They can score a lot of points in a hurry. Dungy off back iron though, and here come the Lady Vols. Jackson fouled by Monk, and we talked about earlier, Mimi Jackson has really been on a cold spell. Over the last 4 games that they've lost, just 4 of 27 from the field, 3 of 14 from beyond the arc.
Well, I like what I've seen from her so far, taking a pull-up jumper earlier in the game and then looking to push in transition. When you're having a tough night shooting, especially from the 3, a tough time, you got to try and attack in different ways.
Ball reversal sets her up short on that shot, way short. And passing ahead, Kira Williams not able to score. Skip over to Zay Green, out to Westbrook. She has been hot even during this cold spell for the Lady Vols, and she gets her first basket.
And I've been impressed with Amina Westbrook all season, especially in these losses. She looks like she's just putting the team on her back.
Malika Monk is fouled, as we had a chance to talk to Holly Warlick today at shoot-around. Keep in mind that even with these 4 losses in a row, still the highest win percentage in SEC play of any coach in the conference. Has taken Tennessee to 3 Elite Eights under her watch. But she had a chance to talk to us, and you could sense the frustration.
Well, it's hard when you're at Tennessee. It's, you know, Coach Warlick's record almost anywhere else would be celebrated. But even when I played, getting to an Elite Eight, it's not even really something you celebrate or you feel good about. It's hardly talked about at Tennessee. That's that seat we were talking about.
Jasmine Massengill has checked in for Tennessee. And working to score inside. Good work for Tennessee, and she'll get a trip to the free throw line.
Sheradine Green is such a strong player. You know, she struggled a little bit last season dealing with some knee pain. She looks a lot tougher, stronger, more physical this season.
And Green completes the three-point play. The foul was on Jalen Mason, her first. There she is, getting over midcourt. Double team, trapped, and throws it away. Massengill behind the back, in traffic, short. It'll go the way of Arkansas. And now Renaya Davis going to come to the scorer's table. She doesn't get checked in time, but she, along with Mimi Jackson, two of the players that have struggled the most from the field. And a foul going to be called on Tennessee. That's going to go against Sheradine Green. Third team foul of the first quarter sends Kiara Williams to the free throw line. Williams averages just over 7 points a game for Arkansas. She's a 67% free throw shooter. As Green will take a seat. Sheradine Green and Renaya Davis takes the court. Arkansas is led in scoring by Chelsea Dungy, just under 17 points a game. Tollfree and Monk both average in double figures. Massengill off the mark again. A 10-4 lead early for Tennessee, but some missed opportunities.
And that's something that plagued them against Kentucky. Missing some of those paint shots, those are ones you've got to lock in with your eyes and put them in.
This is Arkansas's 9th possession. They're 1 for 7 so far, and that is their second turnover. Out in transition. A foul committed by Tollfree. She falls over the camera people on the end line. It's going to send Mimi Jackson to the free throw line. Mike Neighbors, in his second year at Arkansas, of course, when he was at Washington, took them to a Final Four and had Kelsey Plum, the leading scorer in NCAA history at the time. But a native of Arkansas, was on Gary Blair's staff as a director of operations back when Gary was at Arkansas and took their team to the '98 Final Four.
I really enjoyed talking with Coach Neighbors. We spent a lot of time with him about how he's trying to rebuild this program, how it's ahead of schedule, his philosophy. Such an interesting approach to coaching.
Mimi Jackson made her second of 2 free throws, and he talked to us about the fact that you need to have a process, right? One thing after another, and if one domino goes down before it should, then you aren't on track. But what does he feel like his next domino is?
The next domino would be something that could happen tonight. It's beating a team that on paper they shouldn't beat, beating a team that's ranked higher than them. He said that's the one thing that hasn't happened that we need to happen.
Tollfree from three-point range, the first three-pointer of the game for Arkansas. They lead the SEC in three-pointers made total and three-pointers per game, as they average 8 three-pointers made per contest.
One thing you may not have seen from Arkansas so far this season is zone defense. They play a lot of man-to-man defense, but with the way Tennessee's played against the zone lately, they're trying to go into a zone.
Massengill finds her way through the zone to score. Tollfree with another three-point attempt, back-to-back threes for the junior. She was a 2-time NJCAA All-American at Jones County Junior College.
She can light it up. 5 or 6 feet behind the three-point line. You still have to close out against her. She'll let it fly.
Draws Arkansas within 3. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Green pulls the trigger, back irons it, and Dungy pushes it out. Jalen Mason, Zimmerman with the offensive rebound, and she is fouled. It's Wbb Pat night here in Knoxville. Tennessee leads at the first media timeout. As we're back here in Thompson Bowling Arena, Tennessee with the lead, but Bailey Zimmerman at the free throw line. Arkansas is 2 for 4 from beyond the arc, but actually 1 for 6 in their two-point attempts. But Bailey Zimmerman able to make both free throws to draw within 1. With the pressure on them, what are you sensing from Tennessee here in the early going, Andre?
Some possessions, they've looked to have some energy. I really like what I've seen in their full court defense. They've caused a couple of turnovers. I think that can work well for them. They can't be stagnant in the zone. Last 2 possessions, they haven't had any paint touches.
Jackson throws it away there. UT led by as many as 7. It will stay Arkansas basketball. Taylor Thomas out to Monk. Monk's such a speedy guard, good change of direction. As she gets it out to Tolfree, pounded by Mimi Jackson on the switch. Tolfree goes for her 3rd and banks that one in. That's her 3rd three-pointer.
And that's what starts to happen when you get a team that comes in, they have nothing to lose. You start to see them bank in threes and hit shots where they're falling away from the basket. Tennessee has to be careful with Arkansas. That's what they're known for.
Arkansas took their first lead of the game on that Tolfree banked in 3. And then Tolfree is fouled on the drive.
And Alexis Tolfree is a player that can heat up. She had 22 points against Arizona State. If you do not put your hand up, it's hand down, man down. You have to crowd her space.
So Mimi Jackson picked up her first foul against Tolfree, who's at the line for 2. Tolfree averages 11 points a game. She shoots just 28% from the three-point arc, but has made 41 coming into the game. And she makes about 73% of her free throws. Very good shooter, and she's already going to go to the bench in double figures.
And for Tennessee, I think they need to focus on an attack mentality on offense, looking to get in the paint, catching it, looking to score, and on the defensive end, that energy piece. That's where they can start to pick it up.
You can tell the natives are restless here in Knoxville, as every time something goes wrong for the Lady Vols, they're hearing groaning and a lot of concern from the fans. A 10-0 run for Arkansas. Ten seconds on the shot clock for the Razorbacks. Zimmerman against Jackson. Too strong, but they're going to call a foul on Mimi Jackson. That's her 2nd. Bailing out Zimmerman as the shot clock was winding down, and she didn't have a great look.
Looks like she got her right on the right shoulder. Of course, the Tennessee fans don't see it. They don't believe it, but that hit.
Zimmerman misses the first. And if you're Mimi Jackson, you just want to get out of that situation. You don't want to put yourself in a situation you might get that called.
And Bailey Zimmerman, she's not a player that takes a lot of two-point shots. So really, you just want to contest her shot. Making her put it on the floor and shoot over you, that's good enough.
Arkansas already 7 of 10 from the free throw line. Tennessee led by as many as 7 here in the early going. Davis still can't get one to go. And a foul called on the rebound. Malika Monk picks up her second. So that's not a good sign for this Razorback team. First free throw made. And both for Mimi Collins, the 6'3" freshman out of Waldorf, Maryland. Stops the 11-0 run for Arkansas. Monk blocked by Massengill. That gets the crowd fired up a little bit. And excuse me, they changed that last foul, not on Monk, but on Chelsea Dungy. And look at that block by Massengill.
And Malika Monk was just smiling. She knows she's at a disadvantage with the height. Got to find a different way to create some space and score.
Nice step back, but still Massengill at 6 feet tall, affecting the 5'5" guard for Arkansas. 1 minute to go in the first quarter. Ray Burrell, who had a terrific game against Alabama, misses on that attempt. Mason stops and pops. And Davis tracks it down. Davis lining up again. Oh for 3 from the field is Rennia Davis, and then Burrell gets called for the travel. Rennia Davis, 0 for 5 over the last 2 games coming into tonight's game. 2 of 17 from the field. They didn't start her today, gave her a chance to come off the bench, but still hasn't found that rhythm.
And not starting her gave her a chance to settle in, see what was happening with the game, let her teammates get the energy going. Rennia Davis puts a lot of pressure on herself. I know she's feeling it. She has to find a way to focus on other things and just play.
Collins picked up the foul, and we keep seeing Arkansas being relentless. They're going to continue to attack the rim, and Holly Warlick talked to us about the fact that when you play Arkansas, you have to defend threes and layups.
In Arkansas, they're in that zone, but they're not in that zone to slow the game down. They still want to pick up the pace, and they play 4 out, 1 in, sometimes 5 out basketball. They want to get to the rim.
So even though Arkansas is 1 for 7 from the field, they are making a living right now at the free throw line. 8 of 11 so far. So 9 of their first 20 points are from the free throw line.
And the thing with Arkansas is they're streaky, so one thing you don't want to do is send them to the free throw line, let a couple of their players see the ball go through the rim, then they start to get hot, and that's when they really start to pick it up.
So Tennessee shooting just 26% from the field, 5 of 19. Four seconds in the quarter, too high, and a turnover. They have missed 9 of their last 10 and now have 3 turnovers, do the Lady Vols here in the first quarter. They came out, they looked loose at the beginning. They had a 7-point lead early, but Arkansas has taken it over to take the lead. And then Mason zigged when Zimmerman thought she was going to zag and just threw it out of bounds. So an opportunity here for Tennessee. 1.9. Firing it up, just off the mark for Westbrook. Tennessee finished the first quarter 0 for 8 in the last 4.5 minutes.
You don't hear about guards or post players. When we were watching shoot around, everyone was shooting threes. Everyone was going between their legs, positionless basketball. That's what he likes to play.
Five of 12 to start the game was Tennessee, 0 for 8 with 4.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Tolfree back on the court. She made those 3 3-pointers, and then she comes away with a steal. Can't get that one to go. Arkansas has not won here in Knoxville since 2012. That's the only time they've won in this series history. Arkansas has beaten Tennessee just 3 times over the years. the most recent in 2016 in Fayetteville. Travel called on Tennessee, so another turnover. And Andrea, don't you just feel like the longer this game goes with Arkansas playing freely, the tighter that Tennessee gets and the more pressure that they feel?
And I think that's the biggest difference so far. Arkansas is playing like they have nothing to lose, and they don't. They don't have anything to lose right now, and that's what they're playing like.
They get the pick and roll to set up Taylor Thomas. Thomas' first basket of the game, and the largest lead for Arkansas was 7. Tennessee stymied by the 2-3 zone for Arkansas, but muscling it inside, and that's a big basket as Kashkawa able to go inside.
Going back to Tennessee on the defensive end before those last 2 points, they have to lock up on defense, but Kashkawa really hunkering down, being physical, getting those points on the board.
6'4" sophomore Kashkawa goes to the line. She had a 3-point play earlier. Back irons that one. Davis goes to the floor, but it'll be Arkansas ball on the possession.
And right here, if you're a Tennessee Lady Volunteer on the bench, on the court, this is where you start to hype your teammates up. It's a defensive possession. Defense is something you can always control. You can shoot the nicest jump shot. Sometimes it's not going to go in. You can control your defensive effort. This is where they can pick it up.
Tolfrey picked up her second foul, so she went to the bench. Dungy with a mid-range jumper. Arkansas up 24-17. Green from the elbow, too strong, and here comes Malika Monk. Monk with a big step. And it's knocked out of bounds. Malika Monk, preseason All-SEC second team. She's one of only 7 players in Arkansas history that has 1,000 points, 250 rebounds to go along with 300 assists. Stolen away by Westbrook. Westbrook ahead to Davis. Davis not able to score it, gets her own rebound. Off the back iron, and the lid continues to stay on the basket for Rennia Davis.
And with Rennia Davis, she's a sophomore. It's tough. She's still young. She still has to figure out how to get through situations like this. That's a shot she can make. So is that second shot. She just has to be able to put it in the basket. She's in a slump right now. Some other things have to start going her way.
And Arkansas answered back quickly. Malika Monk getting into the paint. Now adding to the lead. Again, their largest lead here with the 9-point advantage. And Mason steals the ball. 6 turnovers now for Tennessee. They just, as Holly Warlick said in the Alabama game, looked stuck in the mud, and Dungy drains a 3-pointer. Holly Warlick has to call a timeout. Arkansas up 12 here on the Summit on We Back Pat night in Tennessee.
And when you're struggling in a game, defensive miscommunication is something that can't happen, especially with Chelsea Dungy. See in the nation. And Kennedy Carter, I think it's her last name. I think that might be, you know.
Andrea Carter,
Yeah,
you think so?
It must be something about that last name.
For sure. Well, the 4-game losing streak for Tennessee has put a lot of pressure on this team. It looked like they might come out and play well early. Got an early 7-point lead, but Arkansas has come back, and Tennessee won for their last 13 from the floor. Just frigid here. It's frigid outside, and it's frigid inside Thompson Bowling Arena. Davis muscles it in and finally gets on the board. Mason, Arkansas answers so quickly. Monk knocks it out of bounds. It'll stay Tennessee basketball, and it's possible, is it possible, that the basket by Renaya Davis might get Tennessee going.
It is definitely possible because of what Renaya Davis brings to the team. It's a steadiness, it's a confidence, a quiet confidence, but it does go to the rest of her teammates.
And Evina Westbrook uses the screen to hit a bucket, so back-to-back field goals made for the Lady Vols. And they leave Dungy, a mistake by the Lady Vol defense, but she can't make him pay. Massengill looking, Westbrook. A good rebound for Tennessee. Westbrook has it taken away. No, and it goes off last, off Westbrook. And she stays in the lane, can't believe it.
Tennessee has to be careful on the defensive end. So far, they've gotten mixed up on some ball screens. You have to know who's getting the screen, who's setting the screen, and how to handle it.
Well, Monk makes it all the way to the rim on the on-ball screen.
It's a good example right there with Malika Monk. You want to make her use the screen. Mimi Jackson has to turn her feet, make her use it, not slip it right there.
Kishkitawa with the miss. And then a foul on Tennessee. On Renaya Davis, her second foul. So Davis has two, as well as Mimi Jackson. Holly Warlick going to lead them both in the game. Jackson comes over on Monk, and then it gets swatted away by Davis on the backside. Mimi Jackson snakes by the defender there and picks up the foul. So Dungy picks up her second. Mimi Jackson, is as tough as it's been from the field for her, has been terrific from the free throw line. She actually leads the conference in SEC play from the free throw line, 15 of 16 coming into the game. She's 2 of 3 today from the charity stripe.
And this could be good for her. You know, she's struggling with her shooting. If she can get to the rim, get fouled, see it go in a couple of times, could pick up her stroke from the outside.
And the made free throw allows Tennessee to pick up in the full court here. Massengill on Dungy. Monk and Tolfree are on the bench for Arkansas. Nice block by Kishkitawa. And it gets away from Mimi Jackson. Massengill there with a good hands up on Dungy. Bailey Zimmerman. And the block out by Jackson allows Massengill to retrieve the basketball. Massengill blocked. Williams was there on the back of the zone. Mason pulls up and gets it.
Arkansas is continuing to test Tennessee's ability to guard one-on-one. They're using screens, putting the ball on the floor. Tennessee has struggled keeping their man in front of them, staying between the man and the ball. It seems simple, but they've had trouble with that.
First basket of the game for Jalen Mason. And another turnover for Tennessee. Mason stops. 2 baskets in a row for Jalen Mason, the junior out of Mason, Ohio. And then a foul on Zimmerman as she tries to contain Westbrook.
In that last possession, the disappointing part, I know for Coach Warlick, for Tennessee fans, isn't the missed shot. It's that Jalen Mason gets the rebound, beats 4 Tennessee players down the court, and gets a nice, easy bucket.
9 turnovers already and just 8 field goals made for Tennessee. And that's been one of the problems in these 4 games that they've lost, turning the ball over more than their opponents during this stretch.
Another big thing that's been tough for Tennessee, settling for outside jumpers. They're 1 for 10 from the three-point line right now. They have to try and get into the paint.
Nice knifing move to the basket by Westbrook. 6 points for the sophomore from Salem, Oregon, and a steal. Davis gets in it. And a poor pass across in transition. Zimmerman back in defensive transition to get the steal, and a foul on Tennessee.
Tennessee has to get more of plays like this from their guards. Avina Westbrook, we talked about it earlier. She's been outstanding in their 4 losses. Her teammates have to have that same attack mentality and get to the paint.
And then Renaya Davis commits the foul. That's her 3rd. So she will go to the bench with just a little over 3 minutes to play in the second. Monk off the mark. Here comes Zay Green. Westbrook attacking. Good rebound, but Green can't get the putback. With those Lady Vols behind, it's a 3-on-2 on the other end. Williams with the rebound and the miss by Northcross Baker. And she puts it in on her 2nd attempt.
In that scouting report defense, Northcross Baker, the majority of her shots are three-pointers. You have to chase her off the line.
Zay Green answers back. But Dre, already 5 three-pointers made for Arkansas.
And they're a streaky team, but the thing about their threes is they're getting them the way they like to get their three-point shots. They're getting them off of kickouts. They're getting them off of second-chance shots. Northcross Baker, this is off of a second-chance play. Some of your best three-point shots come off of offensive rebounds, and she takes advantage of it.
So 5 three-pointers made for the Razorbacks. Again, leading the SEC with 8 three-pointers made per game. Two minutes to go in the half. And a travel committed. 7 turnovers now for Arkansas, and that's an area Mike Neighbors very proud of his team. They also lead the SEC in fewest turnovers per game.
They're a team that struggles with rebounding, but they make up for it with how well they take care of the basketball.
11-point lead for Arkansas. As Zay Green picks up her dribble. Westbrook attacks the zone and gets the bucket.
Zay Green, she's so athletic. Got 2 points there, but even on that last possession, her and Avina Westbrook, they're catching the ball and hesitating. They need to catch it and rip and go.
Zay Green leading all Lady Vols with 9 points. A wild shot that time by Doumbia. And out to Zay Green. Green out ahead of the pack. Gives back-to-back buckets to the Lady Vols and a little momentum here.
Zay Green is an energy, a passion player. She can bring that for the Lady Vols.
Doumbia off the mark. Burrell too hard off the backboard. And Arkansas comes away with it. That could have added to the 6-0 run for Tennessee, their first time tonight to hit 3 in a row, and then they miss on a point-blank opportunity at the rim, and Arkansas is going to hold on to it for the last shot of the half. And a clean path to the basket for Thomas. And that's going to wrap it up. Arkansas is led by as many as 13, but they're going to go to the halftime locker room here at the Summit with the lead. You see turnovers being a big
their way. pushing in transition, knocking down open threes, just taking advantage of how Tennessee's been playing so far.
So neither team shooting well from the field in the first half, but Arkansas with 5 3-pointers made and also getting to the free throw line. They were 9 of 12 from the free throw line. But Tennessee going to need to make an early push here to use the energy of this crowd. The crowd is up right now. They are just yearning for them to play hard and play well. And there's a good start for Tennessee.
As a Lady Vol, one of the best things you can do is score early in the second half so the fans sit down and you settle in.
Westbrook now leading the way for Tennessee. Tolfree, who had 11 points in the first half, missed that first opportunity for Arkansas. Tennessee's led by Zay Green with 11 points, and Avina Westbrook with 6 behind her for the Lady Vols. Too strong on the shot at the rim. Tennessee pushing ahead. Westbrook looking inside. Rolling off Sheridan Green, but the offensive rebound and putback.
I liked Sheridan Green's energy in the first half. She's really trying to make moves, trying to finish at the rim. That's what they can use.
Well, 4-0 run to start things off. Tolfree wide open from the corner. Tennessee dodging a bullet, but Arkansas with the rebound. Tennessee looks confused at times defensively.
In that last possession, Sheridan Green, she was waiting on a guard to release her so she could get out to the three-point line.
Tolfree hits that one. Her third three-point attempt of the third quarter here, and she makes that with now 14 points for the junior. Finding a way through, Westbrook now with 8 points. Excuse me, now with 10. Monk steps back. And Arkansas is actually 0 for 8 from anything inside the arc. It's either the three-pointers or the free throws.
Well, it's been the three-pointers by Alexis Tolfree so far. This is a defensive mistake by Mimi Jackson. When you get a screen on a shooter, you have to go on top. You cannot go behind the screen, especially with Alexis Tolfree.
So the foul sends, the foul was on Williams and sends Mimi Jackson to the free throw line. Jackson still hasn't hit a field goal in this game, but she's 4 for 5 from the free throw line. Jackson and Renaya Davis remain cold. They've really struggled from the floor through this losing streak. As Malika Monk finds her way through the full court pressure of Tennessee. Dungy drops it off to Williams. Williams finding her way to the hoop. Zay Green. It'll be Arkansas basketball.
Arkansas doing a nice job in their half-court defense at crowding Tennessee just enough to make them second-guess their shots.
Monk with the miss, Green with the rebound. Zay Green out in transition. Another bucket for the freshman. She seems like the only one playing freely for the Lady Vols.
Absolutely, just playing, using her passion, her energy. It's got to transfer on the defensive end as well.
And a blocking foul going to be called on Sheridan Green, much to the chagrin of the Lady Vol fans who really had started getting into it. We heard a lot of groans from them in the first half, and now they're trying to get excited and get their team going. Tennessee back within 4. They're not happy about this.
called it Sheridan Green sliding over at the last second. Tennessee's guards are putting a lot of pressure on their back line, on their post players, by not keeping Arkansas's guards in front of them. When you get driven, when a guard drives past you, it puts so much pressure on your post to help and recover. Tennessee has to lock down their one-on-one man-to-man defense.
Dungy makes both free throws. She's got 8 points for the Razorbacks. Westbrook picks up her dribble over to Massengill. High-low, sets up Green. She makes it and is fouled.
And this is a solid offensive possession by Tennessee, getting ball movement, getting a paint touch, and then reading the defense. Really nice look by Avina Westbrook right over the top to Sheridan Green.
And Jalen Mason picks up her second. As Green completes the three-point play. She's got 8.
Malika Monk is so fast.
And then she steps out and hits a 3.
But you know, one thing when we talked to Mike Neighbors, he said sometimes we're better off of made shots than we are off of missed shots. We get it and go.
So the closest Tennessee has gotten here in the third quarter after a 9-point deficit at the half was 3 points. A foul called on Tennessee. And Renaya Davis is going to check back in. She's got 3 fouls. Didn't start today, came off the bench. But Zay Green also just picked up her 3rd foul. Dungy rattles it in. The three-pointers just keep going in. That's 8 three-pointers now for Arkansas. That matches their average three-pointers made per game. Gill powering it in and draws the foul. The offensive rebounds giving an extra opportunity for Tennessee, but the three-pointers keep going in for Arkansas.
And Arkansas worked on using screens today in their shoot-around. Tennessee has had trouble guarding on-the-ball screens all night. Chelsea Dungy makes them pay.
But Dungy picked up her 3rd foul. So Dungy's the first Razorback with 3 fouls. But Davis for Tennessee, as well as Zay Green, each have 3 for the Lady Vols. Toll-free steps back over to Dungy. Toll-free clapping for it, wants it in the corner. She's short with it. Sheridan Green with the rebound.
Tennessee needs to get back to that same offensive possession they had a couple of times ago, getting ball movement, player movement, a lot of touches to get a good shot.
Westbrook finds her way to the rim. 12 points for Avina Westbrook. And another three-pointer for Malika Monk and Arkansas. Boy, quieting the crowd. Tennessee had made the run, had gotten back within 3, and Arkansas with the big three-point shots.
Well, Arkansas, we've talked about how loose they're playing. When Tennessee makes a shot, it doesn't faze them. They just get it right back and keep playing.
And Mimi Jackson going down in a heap. Looks like she may have injured herself.
Well, Avina Westbrook has been playing well for Tennessee, but Tennessee on the other end, not able to stop Malika Monk so far in the third quarter. also being prepared, knowing how you're guarding the ball screens, knowing your game plan. It's what we haven't seen so far, and that's why Arkansas is ahead.
Arkansas with a 10-point lead. Tennessee had closed to within 3, seemed to have some momentum, but Arkansas with the 3-pointers, they're 4 of 7 from beyond the arc.
And in that last possession, with Sheridan Green showing double numbers and 2 feet in the paint, Renai Davis has to catch it, fake, and fire it in there. Arkansas has trouble guarding low post play.
Dungy with a ball fake. In traffic, Thomas. Let's go back to the second half of that locker room tour.
Now, this is the entrance to the Tennessee Lady Volunteers locker room. We're not going to go in there. They are 18 to 21-year-olds, like to get a little bit messy, especially on game day. But one huge difference when I think about playing, we used to have to walk across the street to get into our training facility. Now, the team comes right into it, right where their training facility is. They have everything from trainers to hot tubs, anything you can need. Now, the one thing that's been here since before I was here and is still here today in the brand new locker room is the pole. It's a tradition when you graduate from the University of Tennessee as a Lady Vol basketball player. You sign the pole. Every Lady Vol basketball player's name is on here. Some are a little old, some are a little new, but they're all here. In that poll, when I think about the poll, the Tennessee poll and Tennessee's new locker room, it has to mean something. When you sign the poll, when you have all these nice things, it's not just given to you. You have to earn it. And Tennessee so far hasn't been earning what they've been given. When we played, we got the locker room taken away. I know Pat took the locker room away from her players a couple of times. When I was being recruited, they were getting ready up in the bathrooms in Thompson Bowling Arena. You know, whatever Coach Warlick has to do as well to get these players to go, that's what they'll have to do.
Westbrook showing some passion and hustle there, gets a steal and the score. Westbrook has been that player during this 4-game losing streak. She has been playing well. In the last 3 games, averaging just over 21 points per game. And Arkansas continues to answer back, Andrea.
Arkansas is, if I can think of one word, it's unbothered. They are unbothered whether Tennessee is scoring. They seem unbothered by Tennessee's defense. They're just out here playing.
This ties the highest number of threes that Tennessee has given up this year with 10 3-pointers. Westbrook continuing to claw and try to keep Tennessee in this to avoid having a 5th loss in a row. Monk.
Malika Monk has looked good all night. Really, just like she's competing. She got her shot blocked earlier in the first half, came right down and took another shot. She's here to play.
Westbrook answers. So you see the fight from Westbrook. She needs it from her teammates, and she needs a little defensive help down here. Way off the mark, Mason. Thomas with the rebound. So Malika Monk with that 3-pointer. She's got 16. She leads all of Arkansas's players. Toll-free with 14 and Dungy with 12. And those are the 3 big scorers typically for Arkansas, and they're doing it tonight. Westbrook doing all she can to try to keep Tennessee in this.
Really can't say enough about Avina Westbrook and her growth. Last season, she really struggled with leading the team and getting her points as well. This season, even in their losing streak, she has kept her composure and really has come to play.
Foul was called on Tennessee, so Arkansas inbounds it. Dungy misses, and then she commits the foul as Westbrook with the rebound and lets out a yell.
Really can't say enough about Evina Westbrook. It's easy to forget that she's a sophomore because of the way that she plays. She's steady, but she has got to have some help from her teammates. That last defensive possession, her and Renaya Davis were guarding the same person. Tennessee has to get on the same page.
Westbrook has a look, uses the screen well and knocks down a three. And it's a 5-point deficit for the Lady Vols. Monk being defended by Renaya Davis. Green switches off on her as they switch out top. Davis defending Monk, she misses. And an opportunity here for Tennessee to cut into the lead. A 6-0 run for Tennessee. They've hit their last 5 field goals. Davis for 3. Just can't get it to go. And here comes Arkansas. Toll-free out front and hits the bucket. Still time for Tennessee though. Burrell hits a 3. Just her 7th three-pointer of the year. Monk has time, but just short. But a flurry late by Tennessee to draw them within 4.
Well, Tennessee finally looked like it got some fire underneath them, starting with Evina Westbrook. Ray Burrell played well in their last game against Alabama, comes in, knocks down a dagger 3.
See the numbers there for Westbrook. On the other side, Arkansas's made 10 three-pointers. It's the 7th time this year that they've made 10 three-pointers, actually back-to-back games now with that many. And that's why they lead the SEC in three-pointers made. Green with the pass inside. Davis gets tied up. So an empty first possession for Tennessee when they really could have built on that momentum from the 3rd quarter.
And in the 4th quarter, it's really going to depend on stops. In the 3rd quarter, Tennessee would score and Arkansas would score. If Tennessee wants to get a win tonight, they have to get stops on defense.
Toll-free pulls the trigger. And Burrell retrieves the rebound. Bailey Zimmerman picks up the foul. Now you talked early in the open about the 3 losses to Missouri, Kentucky, and Georgia for Tennessee were all 1 or 2 possession games. But Alabama, that's when they let it get away Tennessee in the 4th quarter. They did not have a good 4th quarter. So critical to see how they come out in the 4th quarter today.
And it's important with Alabama. They started 1 for 10 in the 4th.
And Davis scores a nice pass to set her up. She's got 4. And this is the closest the Lady Vols have been in the 2nd half. Toll-free fires it up again. And it'll be Tennessee basketball.
One thing you have to keep in mind as well, Chelsea Dungy is on the bench with 4 fouls. Coach Mike Neighbors is saving her, letting some time click off before she gets in the game. Tennessee has to stay locked in.
Davis has it tipped away. Boy, bad turnover there for Renaya Davis. Monk quickly up to the 3. So 0 for 3 is Arkansas from 3-point range, but you can see how quickly they can put them up.
Malika Monk runs the court. When she doesn't have the basketball, she runs wide, she stays low, she is looking to catch and shoot in transition.
Tennessee has played from behind since the 1st quarter. The last time they led was in the 1st quarter with 3:46 to go, and they tie it up there on the driving shot by Zay Green. with a floater. Arkansas has not scored in the fourth. Davis hits it. What a time for the first three-pointer in 3 games for Rennia Davis. Gives Tennessee their first lead since the first quarter.
Well, Zay Green started it off, gets to the basket, gets into the paint, really puts it up with a nice floater. But Rennia Davis, who has been struggling for multiple games, finally gets it going for 3.
So many heartfelt memories coming in this time of Wbb Pat. Boy, tonight, we really saw Tennessee struggle early, but Westbrook coming through. Avina Westbrook came through big time in the third quarter. Zay Green has been terrific throughout for Tennessee. And then what a time for that three-pointer for Rennia Davis. Dungy answers back, though, to draw Arkansas within 1. Andre, in the first half, Tennessee was held to just 32% from the field, but in the second half shooting 74%.
And that percentage is solid, it's strong, but you have to get stops on the defensive end as well to get a win. You know what Pat Summitt said, offense sells tickets, defense wins games. They've got to lock down.
4 seconds on the shot clock. Sheridan Green gets it to drop in. How many of those have been missed today? And they finally get the shot to roll in as the shot clock winds down. Toll-free pulls the trigger. She has no conscience, and that's a big reason why Arkansas took the lead early and kept the lead for much of the game.
And Tennessee has to be careful. You can't give a player like Alexis Toll-free open looks. She will knock them down eventually.
Post-to-post passing to set up Davis. She is fouled. Tennessee overcame a 13-point deficit, as you see the field goal numbers here in the second half. Davis hit the big three-pointer. She's got 7. This will be her first trip to the free throw line today. She was fouled by Mason. And she makes the first. Well, tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central, we'll have the 16th ranked Auburn Tigers taking on Frank Martin, South Carolina Gamecocks in Columbia. South Carolina has won 3 of the last 4 against Auburn the last 3 seasons. This one is available on your ESPN app, so you can watch it anywhere. So Davis needed to hit that 3. She had been 0 for 5 from three-point range the 2 games coming in and had been 0 for 3 before hitting that big three-pointer.
Tennessee's gone into a zone defense. They still need to keep their activity and energy in the zone as well.
Zimmerman rims it out. Arkansas still has not hit a 3 here in the fourth. They're 0 for 5. They're 1 for 7 from the field in the fourth quarter. Three-pointer from Davis. This one doesn't go. And Monk is off to the races. Watch her speed. She'll get all the way there and gets it to bounce in. Sheridan Green to Zay Green. Nice move through traffic. Can't finish, though. And Arkansas with a big rebound. And I believe Burrell picks up the foul. Malika Monk has been so fun to watch throughout her career, but here's just an example.
Her speed is so hard to keep up with, but she's also smart. She's undersized, but uses her body really well to protect the basketball when she finishes.
She's got 18 to lead all scorers for Arkansas, and here she goes again. 0 for 6 now from three-point range in the fourth quarter for the Razorbacks. They haven't won here since 2012. And Mike Neighbors has never beaten Tennessee. He calls the timeout. Tennessee up by 3.
So if Tennessee can keep that scoring going and get stops on defense, that will prevent Arkansas from getting back the lead.
Trying to avoid losing a 5th game in a row. 2 of those were at home to Missouri and Kentucky that were 1-possession games.
I've been impressed with Sheridan Green's play as well. We talked about Zay Green and Avina Westbrook, but Sheridan Green, her communication and her activity has been really big for Tennessee.
Get out, get out.
Westbrook, who was so red hot in the 3rd, misses that one. As Taylor Thomas secures a rebound. Arkansas 3 of their last 16. And then Dungy is fouled by Westbrook. Not a good foul for Avina Westbrook. Will send Dungy to the line for 3 free throws.
You've got to be able to close out and jump straight up. She looks confused, but that's a foul. You've got to let the offensive player land clean.
Second foul on Westbrook.
2 shots.
Dungy, a 77% free throw shooter.
1 shot.
Perfect from the line so far today. And makes all 3 free throws to tie it up.
And this is where Arkansas has to get back to that zone defense they had in the first half. Activity, make Tennessee settle for an outside jump shot, get the ball and run.
Green gets it in the middle of traffic in that zone. Out to Zay Green. Remember, Mimi Jackson out for Tennessee. Went to the locker room with an injury. And Zay Green adds on to her totals. 17 points now for the freshman to give Tennessee the lead again. Thomas going to work inside, short arms it. Sheridan Green with a big rebound. 10 rebounds now for the redshirt senior from England. Zay Green rips it away. Davis off the mark. Green there with a rebound.
Sheridan Green and Zay Green, that last possession, it's just effort. We talked about the 10 things that don't take talent. Effort is definitely one of them.
Dungy fouled on the floor, but it's been the offensive rebounds, and Mike Neighbors said you have to rebound first. If you don't do that, you can't do anything else, and this is what it leads to.
Well, the first shot doesn't always beat you, but the second shot almost always will. When you let a team get an offensive rebound, you're mostly out of position, it's easy to foul, or they get an open shot.
Dungy in the game with the 4 fouls for Arkansas. Monk using the screen. And Burrell with a tough rebound. And it gets away from her. Burrell, the freshman, got in just a little bit too much of a hurry, mad at herself for that turnover. 2 minutes to go in the game. Arkansas's only won 1 time in Knoxville. That was in 2012. Monk hits a big 3 to draw them within 1.
Malika Monk came to play. I can't say it enough. Every time Tennessee throws a punch, Malika Monk end, but Arkansas has to get a stop, box out on defense as well. In the first half, I thought they did a really good job at making Tennessee take 1 shot, get the ball, and get down the court quickly. Haven't seen that as much in the 4th quarter.
14 offensive rebounds for Tennessee. They've scored 42 of their points in the paint, and they turn it over there in a critical situation. Arkansas. Dungy puts it on the floor, kicks it back out to Monk. Over to Mason. Mason hits a three, and Arkansas regains the lead.
Jalen Mason doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but the ones she takes, she feels good about. That's why she has a high percentage.
7 points now for Mason. Westbrook, short, offensive rebound by Green. She scores it and is fouled. What a fourth quarter we've got here in Knoxville.
We have seen both teams just coming to fight in the fourth quarter, but Sheradine Green, her energy level has been unmatched, going out of her area to get the offensive rebound and finishing through contact.
12 rebounds now for Sheradine Green to go along with her 14 points. With an opportunity to give Tennessee the lead. And she does. Tennessee now 12 of 16 from the free throw line. It's an area in their losses where they haven't been good. And now with less than a minute to play, Tennessee holding on to a 1-point lead. Arkansas is led by as many as 13 points. Tennessee came back to take the lead in the fourth, and now it's been back and forth. Dungy thought about it, pulls up, long. And Green has that one get away from her. And they're going to see Arkansas basketball, but it's less than a minute to go, so Jesse Dickerson saying we can go and check out the monitor on this one. Jesse Dickerson, Brian Hall, Amy Bonner, our officials tonight. We're going to go and make sure the call is right at this critical point of the game.
And this is when it's important. You hear a lot of people talk about, oh, I don't like how you can rewatch everything, but at points like this, it's important to get the call right.
Well, Sheradine Green was in front. You saw it seemed like the ball started spinning because of the Arkansas player behind, Kiera Williams.
And it looked like you said, Sheradine looked like her hands were going straight up, but Williams seemed to be coming down right there, but I think it came off of Green right at the end, came off of her fingers last.
And that's what Jesse Dickerson said. It will remain Arkansas basketball, fresh shot clock, 38 seconds to go in the game. Tennessee holding on to a 1-point lead. Mike Neighbors 0-1 against Tennessee. The head coach has only played Tennessee once, that game in Fayetteville where they lost by 5 last year. Dungy with the basketball, the lane is cleared. She goes all the way to the hoop and puts Arkansas ahead. Holly Warlick calls timeout. The first 2 losses in this 4-game losing streak were one. So what has Tennessee drawn up here with 17.7 to go? Westbrook directing traffic, uses the screen and runs into. That was Malika Monk who picks up the blocking foul. And so the foul called on Monk. And they're saying on the shot. And Mike Neighbors is saying on the floor. It would have been a foul to give for Arkansas, but on the shot will send Westbrook to the free throw line. She hits the first trip to the free throw line all night for Westbrook. She's got 23. Arkansas has a timeout. They'll be able to advance if they choose to. Westbrook with the go-ahead free throw. Arkansas chooses not to call the timeout. Here comes Monk. 6 seconds to go. Monk pulls up the jumper, hits it. Arkansas with the lead with 3.3. The go-ahead basket by the senior from Arkansas. Malika Monk has been cold-blooded all night tonight. The big shot.
Good after made free throw. He lets her go, and she is a player. You know she's looking to take that shot.
I had one of their games when she was a freshman on SEC Network, and she scored just like that for the go-ahead winning. This is not new for Malika Monk. She has done this throughout her career. 15 points in the second half gives Arkansas the 1-point lead. 3.3 seconds now with Tennessee being able to advance to the front court. Down 1. What are you expecting?
You know, I just don't even, I'm not even sure. Probably, maybe a ball screen, but there's not that much time. You've got to get it in. Could possibly look for a lob for Rennia Davis on a back screen. I guess we'll see.
Tennessee down by 1. Trying to avoid losing 5 games in a row. And they do actually put a little bit of time. Jesse Dickerson was over looking at the monitor to add 0.3 of a second. So there are 3.6 seconds on the clock for Tennessee. As Holly Warlick will have Zay Green triggered in. Westbrook has it tipped away. 1.5 seconds to go. And she misses. And Arkansas gets their first victory in Tennessee since 2012. And Tennessee loses their 5th game in a row.
In Tennessee, you know, you asked me what I thought they would draw up. They didn't seem to know what they were going to run. That last possession, Avina Westbrook just gets the ball and looks to take off. Looked like Rennia Davis was coming for a ball screen like we talked about, but Malika Monk just getting her hand in there.
Westbrook put her shoulder down and went toward the basket. Retrieved it, couldn't hit the shot, but it was Malika Monk of Arkansas that hit.